No, no, don't do that. Okay. Phew, don't mess with me. So that's something to think of. Okay, and then this for sure has some purple over here. Gray. Okay, so we're gonna see how that works. I'm gonna let this run here and yon. I'm gonna keep some. I like that there's this white in here, and I can go back and soften that a little bit. Okay, and I'm just gonna lift with my brush and get a little bit of that off. And another thing you can do is get another brush. Let's just kind of, it has to be very soft though. Maybe a good time to soften this business in here. But you still retain the white. Okay. All right. Um, so I did kind of lose this. So I'm going to come back in because I want it. Okay. All right. Okay. Um, so I'm going to start here and go up and let that dry. And if this doesn't look ominous enough, which I don't think it's going to, I'm going to um, come back in, but I'm going to let it dry. Okay. So we start from the bottom because we're actually what I want to do is pretty important. I want to get this river in, but look how it's white back in here, and it's just got flecks of the. Oops, sorry. It has fleck. See how the sky is reflecting in it right in here. So you're going to leave that white. You can put the dark around it, like it's a black really. So what are some things we can do to do black? You can do the ultramarine or the cobalt. I use both in my sky. Um, um, the ultramarine or the cobalt in your burnt sienna to get that dark. And you can add a little black in it if you want, but that way, if you add those two colors in with your black, it unifies your painting. Okay, so get to where right in here. So I get to you. Okay, that's good enough for now. Okay. Okay. Just following my mark that I not throwing my paper in the way, but I intended to do this right there. I just changed the pressure of my brush, and we're gonna get some dark on top. You know, it was funny, that workshop I went to. He was a very good teacher. Everybody got better every day, which is always great. Uh, but he had a supply list, and then he had gotten he had won a uh, art art contest, and uh, he used all these new paints. Anyway, it was kind of funny because I don't think he ended up using too much of what he originally had. And I'm just putting this down because I want, and this is trees in here, so it does go over the river. I just want to mark that. And the other thing I'm going to do to mark it is I'm going to put this yellows, and this is it's wet on dry, and the reason that is because I put this down. I guess you okay. Get your brush and so we have that, and I'm just going to put a little bit down in here. I don't really see it in the picture, but you know. Okay, so we're going to come down to this corner, and we're going to start putting in our grasses, and we're going to go up. And that just, I'm doing that what allows everything to dry. So we're going to put a base. Right? Don't worry about if your pencil lines show. So use I think your ochre. And then you can warm it up. with some, I'll even put a little green in here. It was summer, so sometimes it's just barren in there because depending upon, the rain. But when they've had a good rain season, they and look how, you know, I get my grasses in, but I don't want to be too careful. It's just make it different. Some dark in there. And we do want to leave some of this. We want to leave some of this wheat color in there. Just, randomly. Okay. Now, gonna put a little meant to bring that down and I want to tie it in. Get a little bit of raw umber. Just use all your browns. Now, I'm trying to think, what would Stephen Quiller? He paints his stuff all the time. Um, I know one thing he does, I heard him say, is he puts a little bit of pink right above his mountains. But he has his own color scheme for these mountains, and it's really beautiful. So I'm just delineating. I want there to be, these are like the valleys. And then I'm going to get a flat brush, square flat brush, and I'm going to put in some of these houses. Now, if you notice, a lot of them just have a white, so what you can do, they have a white roof, so what you can do is get more brown. I'm talking to myself. Got a bunch of browns. Okay, well, this is a raw sienna.